Owning a boat comes with a number of perks, like being able to say ahoy or land ho and not feel weird about it. So here's another perk. Geico's boat insurance offers access to the largest towing fleet on the water. And with specialist support from agents that are as passionate about boating as you are, there's so much value that you'll want to say, shiver me timbers, and not feel weird about that either. Get more with Geico.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Because Progressive offers discounts for paying in full, owning a home, and more. Plus, you can count on their great customer service to help you when you need it, so your dollar goes a long way. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
Motherhood. 1 minute, you're mom of the year.
I love you, Mommy.
Then the next, not so much. From bath time to bullying, from potty training to puberty, parenting is full of challenges. But one thing is for certain, you are not alone. Welcome to Modern Mom Probs. I'm your host, author, mother, parenting expert, Tara Clark. Join me while we tackle today's modern mom problems. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of Modern Mom Probs. How is everything going in your world right now? I have to say, I'm doing pretty well. Today, we have Tamron Hall on the show, and this is her third time. She is the most recurring guest that we've had, and I'm so grateful for her because Tamron is just as lovely and electric on the podcast as she is on her TV show. That is who she is in real life through and through. Today, we're talking about her new book, Harlem Honey. It's her first children's book. She's covered fictional novels. She's covered cookbooks. Now this is her first children's book, and it's a really cute one. It's very sweet. Her son, Moses, is inspiring the story of the main character. So today, Tamron and we spoke about parenting and empowerment and all of the things, man. We had a really great conversation, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. So let me know what you think after you listen to this one. Tamron Hall, welcome back to the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's so good to see you, to talk with you, to be around a good person, a good mom. It's an opportunity I'll take every time.
I am so excited to have you back on the show. This time we are talking about Harlem Honey, which I read. It warmed my heart in so many different ways. I love this book. I want to explore it, talk all about it, talk about what inspired you, talk a little bit about Harlem and maybe some of our favorite places to eat and to hang out. We're going to do all of the things now. So I'll start off with how have you been? What's new?
Oh, wow. What's new? Oh, nothing's old. I'll tell you that. Everything is new. Everything is great. You know, I just got my daytime talk show renewed for a 7th season.
Congratulations. I saw that.
Thank you. It means the world to me to have that blessing from Disney and ABC. We were just the grand marshals of the Walt Disney World Parade. I got a chance to take my son and rode in the parade with my mother and my nieces. So it's just been busy, you know, in a great way. And I embrace the word busy because I don't let it define what I feel is important. Like I like a good, busy, healthy busy. I should say that. That's what it is. It's a healthy busy schedule.
Yes. And you've been busy. You have a new book out, Harlem Honey. Speaking of bees, because you're saying you're busy as a bee and the book is about honey.
I love it. That's why you're the best at this. You know, yes, I'm working. I've just completed and now launching the tour for my very first children's book. It's called Harlem Honey. The setting is Harlem, which was the very first place that I brought my son home to from the hospital. But it is more than a location. It is about having the conversation and finding a way to have the conversation about fear, about new things and new places and faces. My son, like so many other children in the year 2020, their world got very, very small when we shut down, and he went from having cousins and friends and music class. He was just learning to start to stand in a little gym class that was across the street from my studio, and found, like all of us, like all the parents, inside. You had high schoolers now taking their exams on iPads. You had college kids wondering if they were going to graduate. And then you had little ones like Moses, who were just 10 months old, shrunk down world. And when things reopened, I found my son to be a lot more reserved and shy than I expected. And I say that because at home, he was ruling the roost. It was mom, dad, catering to everything. And he's got his complete ultimate safe zone within the home. He comes out in the world and he's hanging behind me. And caution and fear is healthy, right? We talk about with children, it's okay to cry. And I hear fewer people saying it's okay to be afraid. It's okay to have a healthy, we're going back to the busy schedule, a healthy fear. And my son stand behind me and, very cautious and suspicious of new places and new faces. And then we would go home and he'd talk all about it. Mom. And, he would repeat what someone said, or he'd talk about what someone did. And I was thinking, wait a minute, we were just there. You didn't say a word. And now we come home and you can't stop babbling and talking about it. And I realized that he wanted to be a part of those situations, but didn't know how. The fear of jumping in had already started to root into his personality. So this book is about new places and new faces. The character's name is Moses, inspired by my son Moses, but it is a larger conversation in a fun and I hope beautiful and warm way of celebrating new places and new faces and teaching children and even ourselves that on the other side of fear is a fun experience if you just dip your toe in. That's why I love that phrase, dip your toe in. And so it's set in Harlem and it's colorful, it's neighbors, but it is truly of all of the work that I've done, whether it's the TV show, my crime series, even my cookbook, this had me in tears because the pure love that we have for our children and the desire to have them face those adversities that we know are many can put us in a position of wanting to rescue and swoop in and save versus teach. And so I had to stop the rescue save mode and go into the teach mode. And this book is a part of that.
You do it so beautifully. When you said about there was a part that made you cry, do you want to know what made me cry during the book? There's a line where at the very end where he says, "Honey for my honey." Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, my heart. Oh, I almost cried because I also have a son. He is 12 and he is just my pride and joy. And yes, okay, he's getting bigger, but he is still my baby. We hold hands when we're out in public. Not always, but many times. Like he is just the sweetest boy. And I could almost imagine Jack saying that to me. And when Moses said that to you in the book, I was like, "Oh, honey for my honey." Oh, I almost died. I loved it.
I love that you shared that because of another part of the book, while it is about exploring places and faces and having a healthy conversation about fear and how to face those fears, I was very intentional in having this character. While inspired by my son and my son's name, I wanted him to represent all of the boys out there who I feel, while we love and support, at least in the last 10 or 15 years, how do I frankly put this? The celebration of being a girl dad or girl mom is very important. I had a very strong mom. My mom was about empowering me. You can do it. I remember taking my niece to see Brave, the Disney film. And it was the first time that I don't need a prince to save me. I've got this. And we've done such a phenomenal job to inspire women like the two of us and women in our lives and young girls. And when I was looking at the children's landscape, I didn't find a lot of books that were focused on empowering boys. And I think in some part, it's been our desire, rightfully so, to make girls feel empowered. At the same time, when you focus on one, I think sometimes people feel that you can't do both, right? You can't have a whole genre, for boys.
Yeah.
And I say it delicately, but I've talked to enough moms of young children who identify as, traditional boy roles here. And I found that with my son, I wanted him to see a protagonist that was a little boy, that was empowered as well, that has a great friend, happens to be a girl, but I want him to feel empowered. And I want a little girl to grab this book and cheer on this little boy as well. And I think that's it's a very delicate but real conversation that I'm having with a lot of moms who happen to have boys.
Yes, 1,000% yes. It really resonated with me because my son is sensitive and he is shy. And similar to how you said about when you go out with Moses and he's hiding behind you, my son will not say anything maybe at an event, will just observe everything and then go back home. And then you can't get him to stop talking about it, just like you said how Moses is. And so I saw my son in this, and the empowerment of boys is a conversation that even he himself has said to me. He's like, Mom, there aren't really a lot of books about boys. And so it's not that it goes unnoticed. So it's not even just with I'm using this in quotes, the boy moms that are noticing that, but even the children themselves, he has noticed, even from a younger age, he was saying that. He's like, what about me? And I'm like, no, buddy, here, let's find some good books.
And I found more books where the central character was a fictitious, like 100 dragons named broccoli, right? Or, that's one of our favorites in our home, the legend of rock, paper, scissors. Those are very popular in our home.
Oh, so very popular.
Very popular. It's hard, but truly, and this is race aside, right? This is just looking at the landscape of characters that an individual will see themselves in. And I found for my son, we were looking for books where there was a protagonist who identified as a boy and, had those little characteristics, but made him feel connected, and so for me to create this little character and then have a really fun female friend, it was also a reminder that there is allyship and friendship. And your son is 12. He'll be 13 soon and going on into college and high school. And through no fault of his or any young boy, I've been in the media a long time. I've been a journalist for 30 years. I've been a mom for 5. I recognize how we have created a world where boys can sometimes be seen as scary, where their behavior, normal behavior, can be seen as a negative. And so I wanted to contribute a little bit of my journey to what I know is a challenging conversation, but one that our sons deserve, which is they are loving, they are exploratory, they are fun, they are sweet, they are jumping off of the side of sofas, and that's okay. And they are maybe going in the backyard and playing a different way than their sisters or their cousins who happen to be girls. But that doesn't mean their play is wrong. That doesn't mean their way of expressing themselves is wrong. And that's been on my heart a lot lately, and not in a, I'm so mad, boys don't get it. No.
Right, sure.
And I'm able to say that as a woman who is an empowered person because of authors like Judy Blume, because of shows where I saw, even down to Linda Carter, I'm showing my age, being Wonder Woman.
She was my favorite. I loved her.
Oh, yeah. I'm like Toni Morrison and all of these phenomenal female, whether they are real life heroes or those that are on TV, who helped me become the person that I am through what I consumed. And I wanted to contribute to the children's world, something that a boy, a girl, whomever can consume, but see that empowering figure be this little guy.
Yeah. And I thought it was beautiful. And you so thoughtfully did it. I could tell how intentional you were in your word choice and how the illustrator illustrated it. Just so beautiful. Ebony did a phenomenal job, but I could tell how intentional you were.
He did a beautiful job, and I wanted these characters to be warm and soft and huggable, right? I wanted them to almost look to be real, but also look almost like a stuffy where you can hold them, because that is comforting. We're talking about fear. We're talking about a new place and a new face. That's also why, in their exploration of Harlem, there are countless places that I could have zeroed in on, but music and food are a common thread. We are two moms. We can sit down over a great meal. We can sit down and listen to great music. That transcends everything. And so the character starts out in Texas. The premise of the book is he's moved from Texas to Harlem, and he is not happy about it, as any kid who's gone through a move. I was a military kid. My father was in the Army for 30 years. So, move has its own set of fears and anxieties. So he's now moved with his family to Harlem. And the best way to get to know anyone, I believe, or any community is through their food and the culture of it. So we start off with that. And at the end of the book, I have a little, excerpt where we describe some of the famous places, because I also wanted it to be a learning opportunity. And the goal is really to make him like Dora the Explorer, where he travels around the country. I don't want to limit him to Harlem or a neighborhood. I want this kid with his mother and his family and his father to travel the world, but particularly the U.S. I'm sure you can understand the minute we first get an idea to get a vacation, we're like, let's go to Italy, which is a great choice. If you can get it.
Right. Sure.
I remember the first time I walked on that American Airlines to go to Italy. But, one summer, my nephew had just turned 18, and I said, we were going to have a summer of Jersey beaches. Being from Texas, I'd never really gone to Jersey beaches.
Sure.
And all I knew was Jersey Shore. This was at the height of Jersey Shore. And I heard Jersey had the best beaches. So every weekend we went on, and I didn't even know you live in Jersey. We went on a Jersey beach exploration weekend. And it reminded me of how beautiful things are that are so accessible, and we forget that.
When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like aloe or skins, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling, and for shoppers, buying, simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. With Shop Pay, that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts are going abandoned and way more sales happening. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell whatever your customers are scrolling or strolling on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Skins uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
Are your ulcerative colitis symptoms proving difficult to manage? Tremfya guselkumab can help you manage the cycle of UC symptoms. At 1 year, many patients taking Tremfya achieved clinical remission, and some patients also achieved endoscopic remission. Individual results may vary. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and TB. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Ask your doctor if Tremfya can help you manage the cycle of UC symptoms. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more, or visit tremfyaradio.com.
It's true. We take it for granted. So when my son, we were in the Upper East Side / East Harlem when my son was born and when he was growing up until when he was 4. We moved to New Jersey when he was 4 years old. And so now we're in the suburbs, just outside of the city. But that was our old haunt. That was where we spent all of our time when he was a baby. We were in Central Park every single day, going to the playgrounds every single day. He loved we collectively loved the Museum of the City of New York, which is on Fifth Avenue. And I want to say maybe 106th or so. Oh, great museum. And Harlem has so many wonderful museums. Studio Museum. I mean, the El Barrio Museum. There's just so many beautiful spots, right? Fifth Avenue all the way up 125th Street. So yeah, we spent a lot of time. And for the most part, it was just he and I. It was just the two of us. It was the baby in the stroller and me walking, and we were just doing our thing.
And that's the thing about, this book. I really wanted to celebrate the exploration of life. And that is how you start to bring down your fears. That's how you start to learn about other people. When I was writing this book, I remember very vividly talking about being out with your son and walking around and exploring. We were out, I think it may have been almost 3 years old at this time. And with great excitement and just, oh God, I can't even describe the feeling. This kid was so enamored with the fact that every townhome had its own address. Now me, I'm thinking, why do you keep looking at the, but I had to take a step back and say, this is the first time this kid is realizing something I've known for 54 years, that every home has an address, right? Yeah. And he could not, we were walking around our block, Strivers Row. He is like, Mom, and he's pointing and he's like, and as he discovers the next home has an address, his eyes got even wider. And so for me, the exploration part of this and the curiosity was very important because we are all so busy. We were talking about healthy busy. And, the other day, my son, he's getting his socks and shoes on. Poor kid can barely learn to put his socks and shoes because I'm in such a hurry. I'm going to do it for you. I'm going to do it. We gotta go.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And that delays them from learning to do it themselves because we've got them scheduled and we've got ourselves scheduled. And it reminded me just something as innocent and as easy to take for granted as the address on a door, right? Turned into
so cute
exploration for him. And so that's a part of what I wanted to pour into the book as a reminder to the adults. In the foreword says, to the curious kid who's asking why and the adult who understands why they're asking that. Because it takes us to understand, and it took me in that moment to understand why this was so fantastic and phenomenal and huge and amazing that he'd never seen it before. It was his, as Oprah said, aha moment. And I wasn't going to step on that. And they have a lot of aha moments as an adult. Their aha moment is literally, wait, you're going to tell me that every home has their own address? Are you kidding me? That's a big deal. And celebrating that with them helps build their confidence. So that's kind of what this is. It's only 40 pages. I was very intentional about that because I am that mom, like, how many more pages on this book? Because I got to go.
Let me skip some of these pages.
His name is Moses, but we're not reading the Bible. We got to go. We got to get to bed. So I was like, we don't have this kind of time. So I was at 40 pages. It's a good number. I wanted through the illustrations for the children who aren't reading yet to be able to sequence, to be able to, make assumptions. And this is all the kindergarten mom now and me understanding how we rush them to read. And my son started reading very, very early, but the power of pictures. And for those who aren't reading yet, to be able to lead mom and dad or grandmom or aunt, uncle, whomever in the conversation through the pictures. What do you see? So it's picture forward, but it's words inspired too.
Yeah. And you can't skip any pages in that book. The book's too good to skip any pages. Some books you go, okay, and you're going through, but no. Yours tells like a proper story.
If you're with my kid, I have tried to skip a page. Not just in my book, but in books. I don't know if you've had that. At night, you're like, I'm going to slide past it.
Like, Mama, you skipped that one. Mama, go back.
So I didn't want to have any, you skipped a page, snafu. So I made it 40 pages. The illustrations with Ebony Glenn meant to be an inviting environment. But from my heart, I just wanted an opportunity for the adult in a child's life to be able to have this conversation. I was just in LA. I had to do a red carpet a couple of days ago. I had to give myself the Rocky pep talk. I had to, you can do it. I didn't want to walk on the red carpet. And everyone's like, you do this for a living. You've been on TV since you were 18. I'm like, yeah, but I just walked on the red carpet. I don't know anybody. I don't know what they're asking me. I don't, and I'd work myself up into a full on hand sweaty anxiety moment. So we all still have fears. Fears are healthy, but on the other side of fear, I made it through and it was a great moment. I got through the red carpet. I survived. And now
You
I'm here
looked
talking to you.
gorgeous, by the way. You were stunning
Thank
in
you.
that dress.
I'm on my way after our conversation. I'm the parent reader in my son's kindergarten class today. And I am full of butterflies right now. I mean, I've got some little eagle-eyed kindergartners going to be looking at me, and my son wanting me to be all animated because he thinks I am a cartoon character, I think. But yeah, I'm going into his class, and I was debating. We went to the bookstore, Books of Wonder here in New York, where we have a book signing at the end of March. And I took him yesterday to select the 2 books he would want me to read. And everyone said he's going to read Harlem Honey. And I said, oh, I don't want him thinking like he's a little celebrity, in the class. So I'm not reading the book. I'm taking it with me in case he says, Mom, can you read my book? But I am on the fence because he does say, whenever he sees the cover, he says, there's your name. And then I say, who's that? He goes, that's me. So I don't want, some little TMZ kid in this classroom. I got to balance this. So I'm cautious of it because I had a mom, I guess it was beginning of January. She texted me, one of the moms in the class, and she says, oh, we were at Disney and your picture's up. And her son said, that's Moses' mom. And I was like, yeah. So I'm still now, this is my first go around of this where your kids' friends kind of know who you are. It is so funny.
Yeah.
So
How
funny.
do you speak with Moses about that? Have you had a conversation that
We haven't. We haven't. And he's only just 5. So only recently, like yesterday on our way back from the bookstore, we're walking with our dog and my husband, and a woman rolled down her window and said, Tamron, and I waved back, and my son said, who was that? And I said, I don't know. Well, why did she yell your name? And I said, well, she watches Mom's show. And she goes, but why did she yell your name? And I just I won't even lie. I wish I could present to you a really beautiful answer. I was like, did the dog where are the bags at? I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. He comes to the studio. He does come to the studio. He knows it's the studio. He knows I'm on TV. I don't think it, I talk so much when I'm with you. I have my 2 Emmys, and in the break, we bring the Emmys home because I don't want them to get lost. So when we're on hiatus, so I bring them.
Yes.
I brought my 2 Emmys home, and they're on this little shelf. My son is in Taekwondo. So he has a swim trophy, and he's got now 2 Taekwondo. So he's got 3. He puts them next to him. He says, no, he says, I have more trophies than you. You do. You do, sir. You do. It's like, I got more trophies than you. I'm like,
these kids, they keep us honest.
I know, right? I'm like, and so do a lot of people in TV, mister, but I've got 2. But yeah, he does occasionally, see a billboard or something, but we haven't had this conversation. And I honestly don't know how I will. Maybe that's my next book, How to Talk to Your Kid About What You Do for a Living.
That's it. We're going to talk to the publishers. We're going to get on that one. Cause I feel like, obviously you have fiction, right? You have fiction novels, which are incredible. You have a cookbook. Now you have a children's book. Now you need like a self-help book. You just keep going down the list.
Oh gosh. Listen, I have been working, that's funny you say that. I have been working on, I'm not ready to write a memoir or anything of that nature, but I do believe, that in the last 5 years, especially of starting the talk show, of being, finding myself unemployed at 48 years old, which was not something I ever imagined, and refocusing my energy, betting on myself. I'm a storyteller, and I do feel that I want to share what that felt like a little bit more. I want to share the idea of getting married so late in life and having a child late in life, as they tell me that it was, and exploring that, because I'll tell you, I've worked since I was 14 years old. Toys R Us, my first job. And to find yourself as a woman over the age of 45, entering nearly 50, and being unemployed, and kind of, I am my backup plan. I've always been my backup plan. My family's been there to root me on, but my father didn't put gold bars in the backyard for me to be. He was a military guy. He raised his family beautifully on a military salary. My mom was a teacher. So they raised us and I had a great life. But, there's no gold bars in the backyard for me. But there was gold poured into me in the sense of invaluable love, invaluable messages of empowerment. And I really feel that I activated that, what they gave me when I was 48 and found myself. So I'm working on how I can share that and hopefully inspire other women to feel what I felt in that moment, which was I have a choice. And that choice is to bet on myself. What that looks like, I don't know. I didn't know it was going to be a TV show and all of these other things, but I knew that my value was not going to be determined by those people in that room. And it was okay that they made that choice. So that's what I'm working on. But for now, it's the same kind of empowering message that I thought about with Harlem Honey. I know empowerment and authentic, these are very overused words and it can sound very marketing centric and they can sound as if you are trying to sell people something. But as I am sitting here talking to you, I can tell you, like food, like music, the common threads in life or the desire to feel empowered. None of us want to feel like a victim. None of us want to feel that this journey is on the terms of anyone other than us. And I think there's advice in that we can share. And I think that's important for me when I create. The cookbook was empowering for me. I couldn't cook. And Lish poured her knowledge into me, literally. and we set sail on this journey. So if that's a part of the brand of what I create, because I'm sure people are like, wait a minute, all these books, what is she doing? There's a common thread and it's empowerment. And that can be found in many places and many spaces and in new places and spaces, like in this book.
I am so grateful for you as a person, Tamron, for all of the things that you do. Not only what you bring to television, but what you bring to the literary world, everything across the way. Anytime I mention your name to people saying, oh, Tamron's coming back on the show, people's eyes light up because they adore you and your message and your work that you do. So thank you.
Listen, that means so much to me. As I said, we have more in common than we sometimes are told. And I believe that when people like the two of us have an opportunity to connect, not just because our names both start with the letter T, and we can laugh together and we can share a little bit about the journey, we're better for it. I really believe that. And so that's why it's always an honor to talk with you and hang out with modern mom problems, because guess what? I got 99 problems, but a modern mom's not one. When I talk to y'all.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. That's what my whole book is about. I go through 99 different problems and I said, motherhood ain't one. And so that's it. So next time we're going to have to do this over some cornbread up at Sylvia's.
Yes. Some cornbread at Sylvia's with Apollo. Check out something and just have a good time. I love it.
Yes, I love it. Tamron, thank you so much for being here today. Oh, before you go, tell everyone, where can we buy the book?
Oh, you can buy Harlem Honey wherever you buy your books, the local bookstore, wherever books are sold. Check it out. It is not just for kids who live in Harlem or for kids who live in New York or for kids who look like the character. It's for all of us because fear is a common thread, but what's on the other side is joy. And we all deserve that, especially our children.
Amen. That's excellent. Thank you so much, Tamron, for being here today.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of Modern Mom Probs. I hope you enjoyed our deep dive in today's problem with me, your host, Tara Clark. Join me next time when I'll be interviewing another great guest and tackling another modern mom problem. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a review and a rating. As always, you could head over to Modern Mom Probs on Instagram and give me a follow, or check out my book, Modern Mom Probs, A Survival Guide for 21st Century Mothers, available online wherever books are sold. Well, that's it for today. See you next time, folks.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.